Good afternoon, viewers. Welcome to this research session of School of Social Sciences. This session is devoted to the Faculty of Library and Information Science. Today's topic is on computers in libraries. This means actually role of computers in libraries. The reason for choosing this topic, if we historically speak about the application of computers in libraries, the libraries and information centers started using the computers during late 1960s. If you see the statistics, if it is not accurate, I can presume that only 40% of the libraries in the country have been automated, some are in the process of automation. So what's the reason for that? Though some promotional agencies in the country are taking initiatives to automate the libraries in the country for providing improved services and quick dissemination of information to the users who are in real need of. But in spite of those initiatives, so many libraries are still in the process of automation, and plenty of libraries is in not yet starting the process of automation. So this is a status. Though there are resources available, we are not willing to automate the libraries due to some reasons which are genuine. The reasons could be lack of confidence, lack of expertise in computers, and lack of knowledge of automation systems, and so on. So to solve these problems and to gain confidence over the application of computers in libraries, we have to have some basics of computers and communication technology also. The reason for having knowledge in computer basics, to know how to automate the library with available knowledge. Since we are in the open source movement nowadays, technology is not a problem and the resources are also not the problem. If you want to really automate the library, in those days it was very difficult to acquire computers and apply them in the activities of libraries and information centers because it was expensive. But now it is becoming cheaper and cheaper, and so many organizations are voluntarily coming out to provide their software that they have developed on free of cost. See, for example, InflipNet has developed a software called Soul. Though it is on payment basis, demo version is available on the internet, freely downloadable. The people who have not adequate knowledge in computing or the library automation software, they can simply download the software and try to understand what is in it and how to automate the libraries and what are the functionalities that are in that particular software. That is one. The other one is the initiative of National Informatics Center, New Delhi. That is also developed a software on library automation called e-Granthalaya. That is freely available, it is distributed. Even they have established some units also for servicing in case of any problems. So the organizations which are meant for promoting the libraries are doing their initiatives. We as information professionals are hesitant to take the initiative for automating the libraries. Particularly the public libraries are far behind. That has to be taken care of. So these are the sources that are available for us today. Even then we are not able to come forward to automate the libraries. That's why we have chosen this topic today. It is meant for actually BLAS program, and it is applicable for PGD LAN and MLAs also, as they have own courses each. In PGLAN course 1, MLI 001, title is itself Introduction to Computers. Similarly, in MLIS program, there are two courses on this context. MLII 103, Fundamentals of ICT, and the second one is MLII 104, ICT Applications. So, this discussion will be applicable to all these courses. So, now we can start with what is computer. If you see this definition, a computer is an electronic device operating under the control of instructions stored in its own memory, which can accept the data, process the data according to specified rules which has been given, produce results, and then store the results for future use. So it is a machine. We also do such kind of activities manually in libraries, but it is a machine which does what we instruct, right? For feeding the data, in case of acquisition section, we acquire books. After acquiring, the books are processed. Process means classified, it is catalogued, and so many other things are also done. So for performing these activities manually, it is really labor intensive and time consuming also. If we adopt the computers in routines of the library activities like acquisition, serials control, cataloging, and circulation, the system becomes easier and the dissemination becomes quicker. So here the information is fed into the computer as input. The data which you input are processed, then it is produced as results also as output. Finally, it is stored. So for performing these activities, these four activities, the computer being a device, an electronic device, has to have some components. Let us see what are the components now required to perform these activities. See this particular slide, this figure illustrates that the process is fed into the computer through the input devices. So keyboard is one of the devices which we are going to discuss later. Then the data are fed into the processing unit that processes the data. Then it produces the result into the output devices, which are monitor, printers, and so on. So this data which are stored in the computer after processing can be stored in some other secondary storage devices also, like CD-ROM, DVD-ROM, zip drives, floppy drives, and so on. These are the secondary storage devices which can be used for storing the data. So and let us see one by one what are input devices and process of information here, then output devices and storage devices also, to some extent about communication devices which are useful to transmit the information in libraries. See, the input devices, these are the devices that are used for inputting the data. The devices include keyboard, mouse, scanners, joystick, web camera, barcode readers, and OCR. If you take the keyboard, it is also a part of the computer. It helps us to feed the data through keying in. It has the combination of alphabeticals, numericals, and some functional keys also. Through that, a person who wants to key in the data can use this keyboard whether he knows typewriting or not. Just by seeing, he can key in the data. It is then it is sent to the processor and it is converted into binary digits, zeros and ones, which are machine readable. Then that is processed within the processing unit. Then it is converted to the output screen. Then mouse. The mouse is and it is a pointer which helps you to point at an image or figure or whatever the object you want on the screen. So this is also a kind of input device. Then scanners. In the case of libraries, scanners are used at many instances. One is whether it is barcode reader is also called as scanner. Particularly in the circulation system, these scanners are used for reading the barcodes. If it is to be scanned, just you have to click on once on that particular barcode, the entire details will be brought out from that label. Then joystick, this is also used as an input device. Then web camera, that is a device for capturing the data. It's a source for inputting the information to the computer. Then barcode readers, I have just told you about the scanners also. This is also one of the kinds of scanners. Then optical character recognition, this is a software which is used for scanning the documents, and it is converted to the system as an image or text. Then the text is transferred to the document which are machine readable. So these are the input devices which can be used for inputting the data to the computer. Then we have to talk about output devices also. The information, as I told you, which are taken from the input devices are processed, then it is produced as results through output devices. So output devices can be monitors, printers, projectors and speakers. These monitors, whatever the results that are produced with the help of processing unit are shown in the monitor. So from there we can see. Then the printers are the ones which help you to take the output in the form of printouts. Then projectors, this also can be used as an output device. The source data will be shown on the projectors where you can see the data. Then speakers, in the case of text and other materials, these three are the output devices. In the case of audio files or something related to audio, speakers are the devices for seeing the data. Then storage devices. As I said in the beginning when I was just explaining about the figure which was illustrated there, storage devices. Apart from the hard disk, we can have secondary storage devices also for storing the data. So this can be divided into two forms in terms of nature of the material. There are two types. One is magnetic based, other one is optical based. In magnetic based, there are four categories: floppy disk, zip drives, hard disk and tapes. The information which are processed can be stored here. Floppy disk, there are two types. Actually, it was initially bigger one, now it is 1.44. Now this is also becoming obsolete now because of the advanced technologies which are coming out. And a zip drive, so this is like pen drive only, just it is available up to 12 GB. You can store a lot of data in that. Then hard disk, this is the CPU, this part of the computer, you can save the system, and it cannot come under secondary storage. Then tapes are also used for storing the data. Then optical, this is really a best medium of storing the data in the secondary devices. This has two things. One is CD and DVD. Within the CD also there are varieties like CD recordable, CD rewritable, CD read only memory. Similarly in DVD also there are varieties available. These also can be used as secondary storage devices. Now let us see about communications devices. See, whatever we have discussed so far are related to the computer basics which can be applied in library routines for automating the libraries and making the services for users. These communication devices are a little different from the things what we have discussed so far. In the context of libraries, if you automate your library, you can just provide the services to the users in a mechanical way. But two, you can provide only to your own users. If you want to share the resources either within the campus or outside the campus or within the libraries or outside the libraries, then there has to be a mechanism to share the resources for effective utilization of the documents or any other material which are available in the library. So for this, communication, actually network, communication technology is used as a mechanism for transmitting the data through network from one library to another, or from one user to another, and so on. So here, some of the devices which can be used for transmitting the data are telephone lines, optical cables, cellular radio networks, and satellites. These are related to networks. Each one of them can be a tool for transmitting the data. So these are all connected to the internet, and whatever the information you want to share, you can share through these devices. So the next one is, so far we have talked about the computer basics, basics and input devices, output devices, communication devices also. Now it is very important for that we have to know about operating system. Why do we need operating system? Actually, this operating system is an interface to make the hardware, it is an interface between the hardware and the user. This makes the hardware to use the application packages. So that the platform has to be decided on which operating system this will work. The best examples can be for operating systems, DOS, Unix, Windows. In Windows also there are many versions. Then Linux. These are the best examples of operating systems. It provides an easy and efficient use of the system resources. So this is very important for any software that execute the program. Then software. If you take the concept of software, there are two types. One is system software, the other one is application software. The system software is related to the softwares for maintaining the system, whereas the application software is just opposite to the system software. Application software is designed for performing some predefined functions. System software is used for the system software is the platform for you using the application software. The system software can be, as I told just now, these are the Windows NT, DOS. It is just like operating system only. If you take the application software, this is widely used in libraries and other information centers also. The application software means which are pre-designed and to customize according to our requirements. The examples can be MS Office, which includes MS Word, Excel, PowerPoint, then MS Access also, and multimedia software. These are all application software. You may think that this there are two types of software here, the system software and application software. So library automation packages or softwares, these come under which category? Because since there are two, you may get a confusion. It comes under application software because it is pre-designed for performing some activities related to the libraries of various sections. So it comes under application software, for which also you have to have some operating system. So this is a very important thing to be discussed here. Then what are the uses of computers? We have discussed about the basis of computers, input and output devices, processing technology also, and then communication devices, so many things. So what are the uses of these things to be discussed here? All are, whether it can be applied in libraries or not, whether the routines of libraries can be uh, made possible for the users to use it through application of computers. So let us see, if we apply the computers in libraries, what will be the use? Why do we need? What is the need for computerization of libraries? Here we can see. So these are the reasons why we have to apply computers in libraries. One is to automate housekeeping operations. What are housekeeping operations? If you see here, acquisition control, cataloging system, circulation, OPAC, and serials control. These are the housekeeping operations of a library, which are usually done in libraries. Then if you take this auto housekeeping operations, it involves a lot of activities. Say for example, acquisition. It starts from getting request from the users to uh, subscription to journals and books also. So this acquisition processes involves a lot of activities like getting requests from the users, then sending the request for approval, then making the database for the request which we are receiving from different categories of users, sending it to the committee for approval. If it is approved, then we have to make a list of approved list. If it is rejected, what are the books which have been rejected? Accordingly, we have to inform the users also who have recommended the books. After getting the approval from the committee, it has to be ordered. Then order has to be followed up. If it is delayed from the publisher side, then we have to remind them. Then we have to have a database of the publishers also to whom we have placed orders. Then after receiving the books or periodicals also, we have to see and we have to inform the users who have recommended those things about the arrival of these documents. So these are the activities that are performed in acquisition section. If you take the cataloging section, in the cataloging, the same thing, title is in the, after receiving the documents, it has to be cataloged. So that is called title in process. We have to just collate the documents. We have to see whether it has come in good condition or not. Then it has to be processed. Data entry has to be made. Then cataloging formats also we have to decide it will go with which format, whether it is Mark 21 or CCF. These formats and standards also have to be decided. Then according to the requirements, this data have to be fed. So these are the processes that are involved in cataloging section. If you take a circulation section, there are some activities involved about issue, return of books, renewal, reservation, recall, and the calculation of fines. These are all the activities that are generally performed in circulation section. For each and everything, we have to create a database. In the case of circulation section, if we discuss in detail, for issue we have to prepare a database and a return, renewal, recall, reservation, and a user profile also accordingly we have to do. So these both have to be matched. When a book is issued, that system itself will scan that whether it is properly issued or not, which book has been issued to whom. So for this we have to make some base for automating the activities. If it is manual, you can imagine yourself that how long it will take for doing such processes. Whereas in the computerized system, it helps you to speed up the system and ease in the activity also. It simplifies really. Then serials control. Serials control, that it comes under periodical section. That is the only toughest section in the library, because the periods that the libraries are subscribing to are different types in nature. One may be weekly, the other one is bi-weekly, monthly, fortnightly, quarterly. There are so many things. For every journal we have to create a database and we have to follow whether it has come or not. Generally there are problems in the conventional type of material. If it is print based journals, receiving the material from the publishers in time is difficult for each and every library in the country. So for that, we have to chase. If it has come, we have to update the database whether it has come or not. If it hasn't come, then also we have to remind them, we have to make a list of things. So then getting request also, if you want to renew a journal, that is also an activity which is done. If you want to add some journals which are not subscribed last year, that also has to be added to your database, which we have received from users. So these are all the activities that are performed in serials control. Then OPAC, that is the main thing. You have to inspire, apart from the things that you are doing in the serials control and cataloging, you have to make provision for searching the database also for the user. That is the ultimate purpose of creating databases and automation. So here that OPAC, that has to be integrated with the other databases also for the users to know the data about the library, what they have about the resources. So that search facility has to be provided. Search may be of different types, by title, author, keywords, ISBN, and publisher, price. There are so many parameters and which can be used for searching the documents. So this all put together becomes very difficult for the librarians to perform the operations manually. So here the importance of computer comes. When if you see the next point, to save time, money and manpower. Again, this really saves time, money and manpower. You may think that how it saves money. Money it really saves, because when you do it manually, it it is laborious, it needs a lot of manpower, and it is recurring cost also. Every year you have to do for maintenance a lot of work and manually so many things. But here only the installation cost will be expensive, then maintenance will be cheaper, it will run as long as possible. Actually it will run without any problems as long as possible. Once you automate your library, then only annual maintenance charges you have to pay, which is very minimum. Otherwise for other things, if you automate, and also when you enrich your collections, since we are in the digital era now, most of the documents are all born digital, some are digitized and made available. We can subscribe to those material which are available online and web enabled, for which we have to have computers with internet connectivity in the library. So that saves money as well as the resources. Then it saves the time of the user also. Then manpower. About saving the time, in the case of conventional cataloging system, I am just referring to only cataloging. If you want to search a book on Ranganathan or whoever may be the author, you have to go to the conventional cataloging area, that is called catalog. There you have to, it has been arranged either by class number or alphabetical arrangement. If you know the book by author called Ranganathan, you have to go to the particular letter R. There you have to search where is Ranganathan. After seeing that, it will give you some reference, guidance, where this book is available and how to search that. Then after getting this information, when you go to the stack, then there also some systematic order has been followed to shelve the documents. There you will locate. Whereas in the computerized system, system is provided at the entrance for the users in each and every library. If it is automated, there these options are available by author, title, keywords and so on. So many options are there. In the same thing, if you perform in that computerized cataloging for Ranganathan, just within 1 minute you will get the data where it is available. Whereas in the conventional catalog, you have to spend at least half an hour to get a book. After seeing the catalog card also, if you go there to the shelf, if it is issued already, then you may not find the book. Then it is a difficulty. But in the cataloging system, that system itself tells you that if you select a document, if it is issued to somebody, that system itself generates the data that it has been issued to somebody, to whom it has been issued, what is the due date to be returned. So the user himself gets prepared that the book will come on this particular date, and he can reserve also. So these are the features if you automate your library. Then to increase the efficiency of usage, this also helps you to increase the utilization of resources. How it can be used? The resources, no library is self-sufficient in their collections and services, right? If you want to increase the efficiency of the usage of documents, it has to be automated to share the resources among the libraries to fulfill each other. So you can avoid duplication also by this. Within the limited budget, generally we have in our libraries, budget provision is very nominal. Within the limited budget, we cannot acquire the valuable documents which are widely used. By this, if you buy one or two duplicate documents, then it becomes wastage of money. If it is available in the computerized thing, you can share your catalog with other libraries. Then the other libraries also will come to know what you have. Similarly, you can also come to know what other libraries have, the documents. So by this process, if you have the same document, the document which you have is available in some other library, then what is the point in having two documents in two libraries? Instead of that, you can have only one document. In the place of buying two documents, you can buy one more different book in that place. So it becomes two titles. In that way, you can enrich your collections. Though copies are not many, then it is possible to share the resource. This is the way how to make the utilization more usable resources. Then to disseminate the services faster. This I have already informed you about this thing, dissemination of services. In the modern society, the users need information within no time because they know how to browse the documents, how to search the documents, what material they want. But we as information professionals we are responsible for providing the information what they want. But the information growing, that is very fast. According to the studies, the growth of information doubles almost every 3 years. How to control them? Within the information available in plenty, and on the other hand, the user needs the information within no time. So how to overcome this problem? We as information professionals have to take challenges to overcome these problems and meeting the user's requirements. So this helps the automation process, helps the LAS professionals to control the documents and also at the same time to provide the services faster. Then to provide multiple access. I was referring to the consultation of traditional catalog. Here the resources are, if the resources are available electronically, this can be shared. In case of printed book, only one person can read at a time. If 2 or 3 people sit near him, they can just see, they cannot read comfortably. Whereas in the computerized environment, if you install many more systems, simultaneously many users can use the same data which are available with the database. So this provides multiple access at the same time. Then to make and distribute accurate information, this actually application of computer keeps the data accurate. In the case of preparing statistics, for in Indian situation, there are some bodies to investigate the institutions, particularly libraries, whether they follow the norms and standards or not. For libraries, they have certain standards to be followed strictly to improve the quality of education. Here, when they go for inspection to colleges and universities, they want to know the list of books on a particular subject. How to prepare the list? If it is manual system, say for example engineering colleges, if I want to know the books on electrical engineering for that particular branch, how many books we have on this particular subject in total. If you go by subfield wise, again it is very difficult. If say for example, if you have about 3000 documents for the particular branch, how will you list them? It becomes very difficult. In the case of computerized system, just you have to feed the data, it shortlists automatically, and it is menu driven also. Whatever reports you want, you can generate automatically. Just you have to choose some options. It brings out the report in detail. So that can be shown to the authorities who inspect your institution. This is one advantage. Then to meet the user's needs instantly. Since it is available, some reference services, ready reference or long range reference, whatever may be the types of service, when they come and ask for something, you can instantly help them what they want. So this is another advantage. Then this I have already covered. Application, if we want to adopt computerization in libraries, what are the areas where the computers can be used? So these four are the areas: acquisition, cataloging, circulation, and serials control. The acquisition is related to collection of books. The catalog is related to cataloging of documents, and serials also, some back volumes. Circulation is concerned with the issue charging and discharging of documents, then fine calculation also. Then serials control, this is related to the periodicals. So these four are the major areas where we can apply the computers. Then if you computerize your library, what are the possible services which you can provide in an automated environment? So these are the services which are already being done in libraries conventionally, and if you want to computerize your library, in what way these services can be provided. One is computerized CAS, current awareness services. The current awareness services, as I mentioned earlier, if a person recommends a book, he wants to know whether the particular book has come or not, which I ordered. He may not be aware of that. When the process involves that when he receives a request, it has to be maintained who has recommended this book, and when it was recommended, it is relevant to which subject, then whether it has been sent to the committee for approval, if it after sending for approval, whether it has been approved or rejected. If it is approved, when it was ordered, after ordering, whether the book has been supplied by the publisher or not. If it is supplied, if we have received, then we have to inform that candidate. This is called new arrivals display service. This comes under current awareness services. Similarly, news clipping service also. This is also one of the latest events which users want to know. This also has to be provided. So in the conventional system, if you see the newspaper, if some particular news comes about the latest trends, that has to be displayed on the notice board. So this is called newspaper clipping service. If it is electronically available, this can be. It is not necessary we have to display. Users can come in and they can browse themselves and try to know what the new things are available on this thing. For this, we can just develop a separate platform and make available the latest events in that. Then this, SDI, selective dissemination of information. This is based on the user's request of a particular area of interest is done. If it is manual, then it is difficult. In the SDI system, we can just identify the documents of their interest, what they want. After identifying their query, we have to analyze what they ask for, then identify the documents where it is available, then compile it and make it available for users. So this is also a very good thing for providing services through computerized system. Then electronic document delivery service. This is also done. This electronic document delivery service means, as I mentioned earlier, we are subscribing to some electronic documents also. Those are available. If somebody wants a particular information about something, and that can be sent to the person who has requested through electronically through this system. For this also we have to set up a system for identifying, disseminating this service. Then interlibrary loan. No library self-sufficient. I already mentioned this. This is a scheme which is used for lending the books within the members. If, for example, if IGNOU library doesn't have a book, it can acquire or it can borrow the same book if it is available in the Delhi University Library. We can just get the book on loan for a certain period of time. It is called interlibrary loan. Similarly, if they don't have any book which we have, they can also have from us on this basis. So this is also possible to try and just share the information electronically whether we have or not. Then bibliographical services. So this is another important service that we can generate the data which are electronically available. Bibliographical information is about the book. When we create catalogs, these are the fields that we have. Whether we provide full text or not, we can just provide the bibliographical data about the data which are available in our library. This can be shared by anybody. Then digital reference service. This is also one of the important services that are done in the this thing. Then what are the advantages of computerization? Obtain increased operational efficiencies, relieve professional staff from clerical chores, improve the quality. So these are the services that are covered here. Due to lack of time, then this I have already covered almost all the things in the advantages, so that it itself implies. Then what are the skills required for LAS professionals to acquire this knowledge of computerization? First, we have to have basics of computers, then basics of communication technology, library housekeeping operations, then awareness of up-to-date services in the field. So these are the 4 skills which are required and expected of LAS professionals. Computer basics, initially we have mentioned what are the basic things which are to be acquired by the LAS professionals for computerizing the library, and then what are the communication basics one should have to share the resources through network. Then housekeeping operations, which we mentioned, acquisition, cataloging, serials control and circulation. So these are the housekeeping operations. We have to have the knowledge about the activities performed in those areas. Then awareness of up-to-date services in the field. So these are the 4 key elements which one should acquire. So how to acquire? Then the question may arise: how to acquire these skills? What are the ways and means? The ways and means are free online tutorials, open source software, visiting well-equipped and modernized libraries and centers, interaction with the professional colleagues, attending professional events periodically. So these 5 are the ways and means. If you take free online tutorials, there is a site. There are 2 sites which are prevalently used for self-learning the technology. If you see this slide, this is a site called functionx.com. If you log on to this site, if you look at left side, it has free online tutorials for each and everything from basics to programming. You will come to know all these things. This is step-by-step tutorial. Then one more site, this is for w3schools.com. This is also the similar site which I showed you. Then this automating the library, snapshot of Koha. Koha is an open source software which is widely used. This was developed by Cartipo Communications Limited. This was designed for a library, keeping the open sources available on the web. This was designed and it is available online, freely downloadable. It is in the public domain. So this also can be downloaded. I think we have given a lot of inputs to you all. With these resources, we can try to acquire the computer basis communication and try to automate your library when you get placement somewhere. If you are already working, you can also initiate if your library is not automated. So these are the things that I wanted to share with you about the computers in libraries, particularly role of computers in libraries. I think I hope you have benefited a lot from this discussion. We will continue also next about library automation. One more topic is there. These are the prerequisites for understanding the next topic. Thank you for patient listening.